what's up, everybody? I'm Zanny Cakes, and we're here on Project Diablo 2 Open Beta, taking a look at all of the skill trees for all of the classes. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the Paladin. The Paladin actually has a whole lot of changes. I was rather impressed to see how many changes there were for the Paladin. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at these skill trees. So first up, we have Prayer. When active, a aura slowly regenerates the life of you and your party and grants them life gain from melee attacks. So normally Prayer would only give you the life regeneration, however now it also gives you life gained on hit, and then also grants you a passive health regeneration even if you don't have the aura active. Overall, I think that's a very good change to Prayer and is a pretty strong buff. Next up, we have Defiance. When active, aura increases the defense rating and physical damage reduction of you and your party. You gain 1% active damage reduction with every 2 base levels, and then you get a 70% defense bonus at level 1. Overall, that's a very solid buff. I think it will be a huge buff to the Act 2 Defiance mercenaries. If the mercenaries have a level 18 Defiance aura, then they get an extra 9% damage reduction. And you will also get a 9% damage reduction from the aura as well. Cleansing. When active, the aura reduces the length of time you and your party will remain poisoned or cursed. Grants 1% passive reduced duration of poison and curses per 2 base levels. And then at level 1, it reduces the poison duration and curse duration by 25%. Meditation. When active, aura increases mana recovery for you and your party. Grants 1% passive mana after each kill per 5 base levels. And then you also start out with 150% mana regeneration. So I think that that's a very good change to Meditation. It was already a very good skill for casters, and it now will become a even better skill having mana after each kill, as that's an extremely valuable stat on any character, not just casters. We have Vigor. Increases the stamina recovery rate, maximum stamina, and movement speed for you and your party. Grants a 1% passive faster run walk per base level. At level 1, you get 13% move speed, 50% stamina, and then 50% stamina recovery. Now that Act 1 mercenaries can get Vigor on them, I think that it is absolutely amazing having the passive faster run walk on there. And overall, I think it is a very solid change to Vigor. Redemption. When active, it attempts to redeem the souls of slain enemies and give you mana. So you have a chance to redeem a soul of basically consume a corpse of something that you've killed, and then it gives you life and mana. It looks as though they reduced the life that you heal compared to the mana. In vanilla, you regenerate the same amount of life as you do mana. Depending on how well the recovery actually scales with points into it, Redemption will still be a strong skill. Overall, I think that Redemption is one of the strongest skills in the game, especially if you are getting it from something like a Phoenix Shield. So that would also kind of be a minor debuff to the Phoenix Shield. However, I think it will still be very strong, and Phoenix will still probably be one of the most sought after items in the game. We have Resist Fire. It decreases fire damage received and increases fire damage dealt for you and your party. It grants 1 passive maximum fire resistance per 2 base levels. So overall, I think that's a very solid buff to resist fire. In vanilla, you get 1% maximum fire resistance for every 4 levels, so they've doubled the amount of max resistances you can get from it. And then I really like that they added the increased fire damage to the skill itself. We have Resist Cold, which is the same exact thing, only for cold resistance and cold damage. We have Resist Lightning, which is the same thing for lightning damage. And then we have Salvation. When active, the aura decreases fire, cold, and lightning damage received and increases fire, cold, and lightning damage dealt for you and your party. I'm not sure if the damage increase will scale more with the single elemental types. They both start out at 5%. So if the damage scales the same, then there's no reason to use anything besides Salvation. However, if the damage is significantly higher on your resist lightning than it is on your Salvation, I think that will make for some even more dynamic builds involving things like dual dreams, or in the case of fire, your Hand of Justice and dragon builds. So overall, I think there's a lot of really good changes in the defensive auras tree, and we will probably see a whole lot more use of them in Project Diablo 2. Moving on to offensive auras, we have Might. Increases the damage done by you and your party. At level 1, you get 40%. Overall, it's a good skill. Increases your physical damage. Blessed Aim. Aura increases the attack rating for you and your party. It grants a 10% passive attack rating per base level. I think that is a very awesome change. If you are hurting for attack rating, that being able to get up to 200% bonus attack rating by maxing out Blessed Aim, even when it's not active, will definitely help out on a lot of Zeal or even Vengeance builds. Concentration. When active, aura increases the damage and decreases the chance the attack will be interrupted for you and your party. At level 1, you get 25% to attack rating, which is a new stat for that skill. And then you have the chance of being uninterrupted and 60% damage bonus. So overall, your concentration is going to be more useful than Might will be. And also concentration, I'm sure, in Project Diablo 2 still boosts the damage of your hammers. I think that the buff to the attack rating is also very good. Fanaticism. When active, aura increases damage, attack speed, and attack rating for you and your party. Your party gets 25% damage, you get 50% damage, and then you get 14% attack speed and 40% attack rating. Fanaticism is always a fantastic skill. Everybody loves it. The increased attack speed goes to your base weapon speed. It's not like getting 14% increased attack speed on a piece of gear. It actually is based off of your base weapon speed and will significantly reduce the amount of increased attack speed you need to hit the highest breakpoints in the game. Overall, Fanaticism is very, very strong. We have Holy Fire. When active, the aura damages nearby enemies with heavenly flames. At level 1, it does 12 to 36 fire damage added to your attack, and then the aura does 1 to 3 fire damage every several seconds to everything around you. It gets synergies from Resist Fire and Salvation. With the 18% synergy from Resist Fire and 6% from Salvation, and then the skill itself starting out at 12 to 36 fire damage, I think that there will be a lot of damage potential in the Holy Fire skill, whether you're using it yourself or if you're doing a Hand of Justice dragon build or something like that. Overall, it looks like Holy Fire was pretty solidly buffed. We have Thorns. When active, the aura reflects damage done to you back at the attacker. At level 1, you get a 250% damage return. Holy Freeze. When active, the aura freezes nearby enemy monsters. It adds 20 to 30 cold damage to your attack and then does 2 to 3 cold damage to everything around you. And it also slows enemies by 30%. It has a 12% synergy from Resist Cold and a 10% synergy from Salvation. Then we have Holy Shock, which causes pulses of electricity to damage nearby enemies and adds lightning damage to your attack. We got 1 to 120 lightning damage to your attack at level 1, and then does 1 to 10 lightning damage. It's got 8% synergies from resist lightning and salvation. It looks like overall, I think the Holy Shock lightning damage that is added to your attack will be extremely high. And I think the Dream builds and Tesla-din builds are going to be very strong. We have Sanctuary. When active, aura damages the nearby enemies with magic and provides enhanced damage to attacks against undead. It does 32 to 64 magic damage to your attack, and then does 4 to 8 damage to everything around you. It gets synergies from Might and Thorns. Conviction. When active, the aura reduces the defense and resistances of nearby enemies. At level 1, you get minus 19% to defense and minus 12% to resistances. It looks to me like the minus resistances has been nerfed a little bit and the minus to defense has been buffed. That means that this skill will still be very good for any character, really. Its primary use is for people that want to try and break immunities, specifically lightning immunities. However, the minus to defense will be very handy even on melee characters. Then moving on to combat skills. This is the first skill tree that I've seen that has more than 10 skills in it. Every other tree has 10 skills. The Paladin combat skills tree has 13. So we have Sacrifice, increase accuracy and damage at the cost of life. So you do a whole bunch of extra damage, and then 9% of that damage you take. So it's got huge synergies from Redemption and Fanaticism, and overall can be a very hard-hitting skill. However, it does have the double edge of it deals damage to you every time you use it. Zeal allows you to attack multiple adjacent enemies with a single attack. The attack gives you a bonus to attack rating. At level 1, it does 3 hits, and then you get a 16% damage synergy from Sacrifice. Zeal has always been a very good melee skill. Eventually, you get up to 5 hits, and then you can get 4-frame attack rating with it, and overall is a very strong skill. Here we have Vengeance. Fire, lightning, and cold damage are added to each successful attack. At level 1, it gives you 70% bonus to fire damage, cold damage, and lightning damage, and then 150% bonus to attack rating. And then you have synergies from resist cold, resist fire, resist lightning, and salvation. Overall, I think that is going to be a very strong skill, doing 3 different elemental damage types. You won't have to worry about any immunities at all. And then on top of that, having all of the melee weapons with built-in splash, being able to splash all of that tri-element damage on top of whatever physical damage you do, I think that Vengeance will be a very strong skill. Here we have Joust. It's a new skill. Teleport to your enemies and impale them with a deadly strike, gaining increased movement speed for 2 seconds. You gain increased movement speed by 2% per base level. It has a 3-second cooldown. At level 1, you get 8% bonus to your damage, 120% bonus to attack rating, and then critical strike chance is 10% at level 1. I think that this will be similar to something like the Dragon Flight from the Assassin, where you have to have an actual enemy to use the skill itself, but it could work very well with things like Blessed Hammers, as you can just teleport on top of your enemies and then start throwing out your hammer field, and I think is a very good mobility skill for the Paladin. So here we have Holy Bolts, a Holy Bolt of divine energy that damages enemies or heals allies, fires an additional Holy Bolt at levels 15 and 25. So you can get up to 3 Holy Bolts shooting out at one time. And then we have synergies, damage synergies from Holy Light, Fists of the Heavens, and Holy Nova. And then we increase the healing with a synergy from Prayer. I think that Holy Bolt will be a very strong leveling build. Holy Light calls down light from the heavens to heal an ally from afar. It increases the heal from Prayer and Holy Nova. I have kind of mixed feelings on this skill. I mean, it looks like it will be a very strong heal. However, I don't know how useful it's really going to be. I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be very useful in single player. Might be pretty good in the dungeons. But again, I'm not really sure how mandatory a healer type role will be in Project Diablo 2. We have Blessed Hammer, summons an ethereal hammer that spirals outward, damaging enemies it hits, 150% damage to undead. Pretty much everybody that's played vanilla Diablo 2 is familiar with hammers and how they work. We get synergies from Blessed Aim and Vigor. It looks like hammers will be just as strong in Project Diablo 2 as they are in vanilla Diablo 2. And I think the only drawback would be the change to Enigma. However, with the Joust skill, I think the hammer build will be certainly viable in Project Diablo 2. Fist of the Heaven, lightning strikes your target as holy bolts seek out nearby enemies. It's got damage synergies from, it gets a holy bolt damage synergy from Holy Bolt. And then Holy Bolt also increases the lightning damage. Holy Light and Holy Nova also increase the lightning damage. So the vast majority of the damage, AoE damage from this will all be holy damage. And then it looks like they quite significantly buffed the amount of single target lightning damage. Overall, I think Fist of the Heavens is going to be an extremely strong build at endgame. We have Smite, temporarily stun your enemy and bashing it with your shield. Smite is pretty standard, as it's the same as it is in vanilla Diablo 2. It's one of those skills that you don't have to have any attack rating, it just hits, and tends to be a boss killer, whether you're running Ubers or Diablo clone or whatever. You stack Crushing Blow because you always hit. You can get very fast attack speeds with using Fanaticism with it, and Smite is all around a very solid boss killing build. We have charge into a battle and attack an enemy. It does 100% bonus damage at level 1. You gain 75% attack rating. And then you have huge damage synergies from both Vigor and Might. Conversion converts monsters to fight against other foul demons and beasts. I've never really been a big fan of conversion, as the enemy monsters just don't do enough damage to make it really worth it. You will do significantly more damage with things like Zeal or Sacrifice. Holy Shield enhances your shield with divine power. Holy Shield is pretty much mandatory on any paladin, at least 1 point. It increases your defense by a huge amount, increases your block rate, so you need much less dexterity to get your max block, increases your smite damage. All around, it is a very good skill. And the one thing that is extremely good about Holy Shield that the tooltip doesn't say is if you have Holy Shield active, you actually go down to 2 frame block rate. So you block, just by having Holy Shield on, you block faster than any other class. Holy Shield is an extremely strong skill and very, very defense oriented, and I would highly recommend taking at least 1 point in Holy Shield on any build at all. And then here we have Holy Nova. It's a brand new skill. It's got a huge AoE. If you've seen on the website, they showed off the skill a little bit. It's got an AoE of the whole screen. It creates an expanding ring of holy energy that damages enemies or heals allies. At level 1, it does 8 to 16 magic damage and then heals any allies for 80. Then we get Holy Bolt will give us more damage, and then Prayer and Holy Light will increase the healing that it does. Depending on how well the magic damage scales, I think that Holy Nova will be extremely strong, and regardless of how the damage scales, I think it will be extremely strong in group play, having both damage and healing to it. It will simply just be a very handy skill to have. So there you have it, guys. That's the Paladins. There's quite a few changes for the Paladin. I think that hammers will still be good. A lot of different physical builds, whether it be Zeal or Smite, will be good. The Holy Bolts, Holy Nova builds will be good. Fist of the Heavens will be very strong. And I think they made a lot of good changes in the defensive auras skill tree, and I'm interested to see how Pallies end up playing out in Project Diablo 2. And as always, good luck, have fun, and we hope to see you out there.